Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we're going to be reviewing the Niche Aether. This board features Niche's multi-camber profile, which is reverse between the feet and camber underfoot. This is going to give you independent camber zones to load up to give you all the snap, pop, load, and drive, but that reverse section in the middle makes it a little easier to engage presses as well as helping with powder float. This board is available in 153, 156, 159, and 162. I rode this board at Arapahoe Basin on an overcast, gray sky days with slightly warmer temps and wet snow falling. There was 2 to 4 inches of sugar snow on top of dust crust, leftover pow, chopped chunder, and firm groomers. And I rode it with my Rome Black Label bindings and my K2 Thraxis boots. The overall flex of this board comes in right at a middle of the road all mountain flex. Now you have 3 key flex points with this board. Right in the dead center at the reverse camber and outside the camber sections on the nose and the tail. Now what you're going to really notice is the torsional flex of this board as you can really twist it, and it's accentuated because of that reverse camber and those independent camber zones. So be aware that you can over twist this board. When it comes to stability, this board's really lively and the camber profile isn't helping anyone. By that, I mean you've got this reverse into camber. So what's going on when you charge into lumpier terrain is that it's slamming everything right into that camber zone because, let's face it, you're probably going to be weight back a little bit, so that front's a little elevated. So everything's just going into that camber section and it's going to hit it. This is a board you want to stay on top of and keep your weight centered. If you do, it's a little bit more of a stable ride, especially on a groomer. But like I said, when you're in lumpier terrain, you feel everything just hammering it and you will get chucked around. So here's the cool thing with this board. For having that multi-camber profile, you've got these independent camber zones that you have to load up to get to engage to pop. Now, you're not going to be loading them up both at the same, so you're going to tend to be a little weighted back on the rear. And when you load that up, it's easy to load up, but what you put in, you get double up. This board has snap. It wants to boost. It wants to pop. You're not going to have to worry about getting this thing in the air. And with that reverse in the center and everything, it makes it really easy and almost a skate-like pop to get it to engage. Now when it comes to jumps, just because of the time of the year that I was riding a basin, they really didn't have anything. But small to medium is where you're really going to want to hit stuff with this. Anything bigger, I find that with this camber profile, if you land in the back seat, you end up wheeling out and eating shit and dying. We don't want you eating shit and dying, so stick it to the small to the medium, and by medium I mean about 30 feet. And what you need to know is this board will pop off the lip if you need it to, or you can be laid back and let it send you. So outside those camber zones in the nose and the tail are these optimal sweet spots that you want to just roll in and lock in your butter. And it really does let you roll in. This camber profile is very easy to engage, so you can just roll it in, feel it lock in, and then when you want to disengage, you've got that pop to spring back out. You never really have to worry about it with this. When it comes to jibbing, you want to keep it more to your stock basic tricks, your nose press, your tail press, board slides, stuff like that. If you're trying to do like weird combinations and whatnot, this board may be a little too stiff for it. But what you need to know is those sweet spots in the nose and the tail, like I talked about, really do lock in and hold that press to the end of the feature, and then you're able to snap out and not worry about it. When you do go sideways through a rail or a box or whatnot, you want to have your weight either more over the front foot or the back foot, just so it's locking into that camber section. That way it's cradling with the natural curvature of the camber and you feel more secure. If you're right between the feet, yes, you do have a flex point there and it will cradle more, but it also fights a little bit more than if you're underfoot. Otherwise, you know, this board will slide if you need it to. There's a lot of ankle steering going on with this board due to the torsional flex and the camber profile. It really does grip right underfoot, and with that magnet traction on this board, it locks in and you're able to hold an edge on firmer or icier snow. You notice that right away. Now, when you really try to drive this board by loading up that rear camber section and pushing off the tail, you can get it to lay you over to a point. And if you keep going past where you feel comfortable, it's more or less going to kick out on you. It's those short, tight carves or medium mellow carves that it really stands out. Those ones where you can just sort of swoop from one side of the trail to the other, but you're leaving a trench, or if you're coming in hot and you just need to like quickly transition, carve around whoever's in your way, and then hit the feature in front of you. Who's this board for? The all-mountain freestyle rider that does it all and wants a hybrid camber profile. So I've ridden just about every version of this board since it came out from every factory that it's been produced at, and now it's being made at a new factory. With that said, this version has the most snap out of any of the previous ones I've ridden, but you sacrifice a little bit of power and edge hold. It just doesn't grip as much or carve as well as the previous versions that I've ridden. With that said, I think we've hit a point where this camber profile just needs to go away. This board would do better if it was cam rocker versus this hybrid camber profile with that reverse between the feet and camber underfoot. That's my personal takeaway on it. If this board was cam rocker, I think that it would be a more exceptional ride. Comparable boards: the GNU Rider's Choice, the Yes Typo, the Rosinal 1. Binding recommendations: the Bent Metal Transfer, the K2 Formula, the Burton Cartel. This has been my review of the Niche Aether. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own one? Are you going to buy one? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this snowboard. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for all you snowboarders of the internet. And if you really like what we're doing over here and you want to support us further, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP and become a member. Sure, I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.